Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we have the final round of Swiss at the FNM Legacy Tournament, the first one at Scholars for a Force of Will. They're going to be doing that every week, which is super exciting for a Friday night. Be able to stay out, play some Legacy, get in a ton of games versus some great opponents. And here we have the final round, Jeff versus Carl, Turbo Depths versus Bug Delver. Bug Delver taking a huge hit with the loss of Deathrite Shaman. See what it's able to do. Now that that's left many people expecting Rug to become the more popular deck. Bug does have access to cards like Hymn to Torok, which are extremely powerful if he chooses to sleeve that up. Underground Sea and to Ponder. Turbo Depths on the other side. Going to be playing a very different type of game. Not going to be about sculpting and incremental advantage. It's going to be about swinging for the fences with a 2020 Merit Lage, going for the throat. And we see here Sinkhole, Force of Will. Looks like an EMA Force of Will, I believe. Sinkhole is taken. Looks like an Expedition Scalding Tarn, perhaps. I believe that was the Spellbook Brainstorm. Main deck Pithing Needles from Turbo Depths because Wasteland is such a legitimate concern. Likely only to go up in frequency from here. Wasteland, I think, is going to be a lot more attractive as people try and make their old decks work without Deathrite Shaman. There it is, Pithing Needle. Carl fetches in response. It will not be a one-mana Sinkhole. It will instead name Wasteland. And another Pithing Needle. See if that's also naming Wasteland. It's one of the only cards that Jeff could really worry about. It is likely correct for him to name Wasteland with both. It may feel like card disadvantage, but Carl likely has access to Abrupt Decay, which would be an absolute blowout in response to any type of attempt at comboing. Abrupt Decay, the Pithing Needle on Wasteland, and then Wasteland, that Dark Depths in response, and you find yourself in a very deep hole. Of course, Jeff does need to find the Dark Depths and Thespian stage, but he has the map, and he's drawn the Dark Depths here, and there's a Sylvan Scrying as well. So it looks like he's got it all. We'll see what Bug can do about this. Now that Thespian stage, not the safest place it could be. It is in his hand. It could be hit by Hymn to Torok if Carl happens to draw that. And there's a Nimble Mongoose. Not great timing for that. We are very far from trying to play the role of the beatdown deck. Carl going to need to rein this stuff way back in. And there's a Sinkhole. EMA foil Sinkhole. That takes care of business there. Verdant Catacombs. 2 mana for another Sylvan Scrying, grabbing another Dark Depths. So he has Dark Depths and Thespian Stage in hand. And Expedition Map still on board. So Jeff has a lot of redundancy here. It's going to be very difficult long term to be able to keep him off of this Dark Depths combo through attrition. And there's Delver of Secrets coming down. Now Delver likely to flip and be a chump blocker. Playing Thespian Stage first. And taking out the Delver. Carl choosing to block there. Do not agree with that decision. That does turn Diabolic Edict online. So questionable swing there from Jeff with that Sylvan Safekeeper. Wasteland has been Pithing Needle. Will he have the Abrupt Decay? And it's going through. He's getting a 20/20. And there's the Edict. Punished. Absolutely punished for trading off the 1/1. Carl, just no remorse. Punishing that play. And now that Nimble Mongoose looks like a legit way to finish this game. Three. Proud little Mongoose swinging in there. 4 more turns. Thoughtseize turns it to 3 more turns. And just showing a polluted Delta left in hand. Tracking for Dark Depths. Now he has Vampire Hexmage in hand. There's a Thespian stage. Gonna have 2 different lines toward a 20/20 Merit Lage. Yet another Pithing Needle. There's the Dark Depths. There is the Vampire Hexmage, which is extra protection against Wasteland. The grim situation. Not only does the Vampire Hexmage give extra protection against any type of Wasteland effect that might happen, it's also a potential chump blocker for the 1 turn that he may need. He's actually going to go ahead and use the Hexmage to make a Merit Lage. And I didn't see the end interaction there. It looks like Carl scooped it up. I don't know if Jeff had removal for that Delver. There is no trample on Merit Lage. I don't know if Carl missed that. I'm going to play it as if Jeff had won that match. It looked to me like Carl scooped. Delver of Secrets, a reasonable chump blocker, especially when your opponent is so low on life. Turbo Depths, a very interesting deck. I think it's largely misunderstood. I think it doesn't get the respect that it deserves as a legitimate legacy deck. I feel like lands is such a juggernaut and such a kind of skill-intensive, demanding deck that people kind of think of it as the only Merit Lage deck. That is not the case. Turbo Depths is very legit. Tin Fins is also can be built to be a Merit Lage deck as well, as we saw. I believe it was Matt Nass at a GP recently. I was running a Tin Fins with the Dark Depths combo grafted onto it. Excellent little bit of deck building there. But there's a lot of ways to take games down with Merit Lage, and Turbo Depths is, I would say, probably the most effective at winning with Merit Lage. The lands deck, more about mana denial, more about taking them a long way around. Turbo Depths goes right for the throat and actually has a lot of protection for the Merit Lage, as well as the ability to kill the same turn that the Merit Lage comes down. And Delver coming out here for Delver. Carl leading out with his best option. setting a clock, hopefully saying this game's not going to go more than 7 turns. And just going to need to try and play defense with the rest of his resources. Duress is going to make that tough. Looks like Goose, Goif does have the Wasteland, but that Pithing Needle comes down to stop Wasteland, and we'll see how quickly Jeff can assemble the Merit Lage combo. Keep in mind that that Delver could potentially function as a chump blocker if he gets the 2020 online. He'll have to do it while his life total is still high enough and he's facing down Goif and Delver, along with another Goif and Nimble Mongoose in hand. Vampire Hexmage comes down off of Urborg. And a DCI Sinkhole. Carl just running the gamut with all of the different options here. And Urborg opening up the black mana needed for Carl. Just too tempting to pass on. May have been better to set more of a clock, but when your opponent gives you double black, sometimes you just got to take it. And Hexmage swings in there, not interested in playing defense. Jeff only at 10 life. 4. No threshold yet. And this should do it. I think we're going to be moving on to Game 3. If Game 1 actually did end with Carl scooping. Or perhaps there was the right of consumption or something similar. And that's going to do it there. Carl taking down Game 2. They are shuffling up here. Carl making a little bit of an adjustment. So plenty of time left in the round, especially for a deck like Turbo Depths, which is very capable of winning in turns. Would be just fine starting each Game 3 with only a minute on the clock. Argue that'd probably be pretty close to ideal, taking those first few turns in short order and then having 2 or 3 turns to close things out mid-game. Bug, not in the same category, absolutely needs many attack steps, either with Delver or Nimble Mongoose or Goif. We will see a lot of brewing and a lot of action-reaction in the next few weeks. We'll see if cards like Abrupt Decay become more or less popular. Cards like Hooting Mandrill in response to that may go up or down. If Abrupt Decay is the premium removal in the format, then a card like Hooting Mandrill's very difficult to deal with. It also gets around Chalice, which may become more popular. And there's standard opening there with Wasteland protecting not only Jeff's mana base, but also the combo he's looking to pull off here. There's a Dark Depths and a Vampire Hexmage. Lotus Petal lets it play around the days. Delver did not flip during the end step, tracking the Hexmage to make a 2020, but Stifle saving the day. And there's a Duress a little late. Using Lotus Petal, that's probably just incorrect to do. No real reason to use the Lotus Petal there. Tapping the Dark Depths would have been preferable. He does have Urborg. A Lotus Petal in the bin unnecessarily. Likely not going to make a difference here. Jeff does have Thespian Stage lined up to make a 2020 during Carl's end step. And Carl digging. Counter magic, not going to matter here. Stifle could buy a turn. And he does indeed have Stifle, so stifling the Thespian stage. You do not want to stifle once the Dark Depths goes through. And there's another duress, ensuring that the path is clear. Carl, a little bit of card selection here. Now we've got a 2020. Does he have a Diabolic Edict? There's duress. No, he does not. Merit Lage has a little insect snack, giving Carl one more chance. Right off the top, can it be Edict? Brainstorm, there's still hope. Here we go, Carl. Golgari Charm. Daggers. He's taken some damage. Charm, not able to keep him alive for a turn. If he was at full health, it would have allowed him to survive for just one more turn. But that is not the case. And Turbo Depths taking it down. And we will be on to our top 8 in this F&M Legacy from Scholars for Force of Will. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with Commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.